Hello students, it's a very important video for you because in this video I'm going to discuss the concept of object passing with the array. So program has got a class definition. As usual in Java we always have a class definition. So class name is array underscore num. So we begin with the class definition, class array underscore num. For the input we have the scanner's object. So here for the scanner class I need to import the util package because scanner is available inside that. So we have import java.util.asterisk semicolon. Alright. After that here object creation, scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in semicolon. Alright. Curly braces are open here because this is the beginning of the class definition. Which class definition? Array underscore num. Any of the concept is not clear, whether it is the input, scanner, util, array, please do watch my previous videos. You will be having a better idea of all these concepts. Alright. Now here class we find that two data members are there. One is ARR, that's an array of int type. The other is an integer type variable, that is size. ARR is basically the array of integer type which is going to have different integers. Size will have the size of the ARR data member. Alright, that's an array. So how do we declare that here? int ARR square bracket semicolon, that's the array declaration. Then int size semicolon, that is the declaration of a variable which will store the size of the array. Students, here we have the functions, some data member functions. First one we are having here is the function which is actually having the same name as of the class, that is ARR underscore num with a parameter. So and there is no return type, not even void. So it is a constructor and it has got a parameter also. So there is class that will be called parameterized constructor. All right. After that, I'm going to show you how to define that. So we write here public access modifier for this constructor, then the name of the constructor, that is name of the class, array underscore num, and then int and then int z. Sz is there. Okay, sz is the name of the parameter. Now what it is going to do is going to initialize the size of the array, or it's going to initialize the size data member with its value. So size assignment operator sz. All right. Never writes sz equal to size. That's very important thing. And after that we allocate the memory to the array which has been declared here. So we write just here ARR equal to new int, and in the square bracket we have written the size. What we have written? We have written the size. Size contains which value? It contains the value which you are passing as the parameter here, which is right now in the sz. So this statement is called the creation of the array, because now the memory too has been allocated. How the memory is allocated? With the combination of the data type and the size of the array. So here data type is int, so every integer occupies 4 bytes. And size, suppose I want to have 10 elements in the array, so I will give the value 10 to sz, and sz will be given to size. So size finally contains 10. So 10 into 4 is going to be 40. Alright, so 40 bytes are going to be occupied by this array. So that is the basic idea. Again, I am telling you, please do watch my previous videos. After that, the constructor definition, next task is to define a function in the class which is to input the data into the array. So students, the array always has got a name and size, and different locations in the array are identified with the index. The very first index is always 0th one, and the last index is always size minus 1. So here int I equal to 0, I less than size, and then I plus plus. So students, here we are moving from the index number 0 to 1 less than the size of the array. You can write ARR dot length here also instead of size, but I have used size because the variable has already been there as the data member in the program. After that, system.out.println, that's a print statement in Java. Enter data plus I plus 1, that means enter data 1 for the first element, enter data 2 for the second element. Because if I don't write I plus 1 here, so for the first element is going to write enter data 0, which won't appear nice. So it's better to write I plus 1. Okay. Now after that there is an input statement, so we write the name of the array with the index. Index is being represented through I, which is the loop variable here. So arr square bracket I, that is read as arr of I assignment operator sc dot next int. So the data will be entered using this next int function of a scanner class, right? After that, students, we have to move to the next function, that is void display. It is there to display data of the array arr. Okay, so the loop which we had in this input function, that was moving from 0 to 1 less than the size. So the same loop will be used for display also, because earlier we were inputting the data into different indices of the array. Now we are displaying the data of different indices of the array. So the same loop for int I is 0, I equal to 0, then I less than size, semicolon I plus plus, and here in this I function, sorry, for body, we have system dot out dot print ln, and here it is written data at index. This is the message, and then I. So whatever the value of I will be there at that time, that will come. So initially it will be 0, so it will be it will be printed that data at index 0. Then after that arr of I means data will be printed. Alright, so this way all the data elements of the array are going to be printed, right? Students, after that here we have another function, and in this function we are going to implement the idea of object passing. So here, students, you can see array underscore num obj, that means object of class array underscore num has been passed here. It's a kind of function overloading also, because both the functions are having same name, but their number and types of arguments are different. Alright, now students, here to display the data of array arr of object obj. In the previous function we were just displaying the data of arr. Now this time arr belongs to obj object of which class? Array underscore num. Alright, just see how does it work. We write here void display, in the parenthesis I write array underscore num obj, that object has been passed, and here it is written system dot out dot println, and here it is written array data. After that, students, we have to run the same loop beginning with 0 and I less than. Now this time we have to write obj dot size. In the last one, the input function or in the display function, I had written just less than size, but here it is obj dot size, because this time we have to work for objects array, right? So its size is going to be there. Okay. So obj dot size, or you can write obj dot arr dot length, that too is fine. Notice this, that length is without any parenthesis. Fine. After that, students, we have a print statement that will print the data of the object array. So here it is system dot out dot println obj dot arr of I semicolon. Close the curly brace, then close one more curly brace for the display function for the object. After that, students, we have here means to write. We have to write the main function to create the objects and call appropriate functions of the class array underscore num. So you will be having a very good idea of how do we work with all these functions which we have defined till now, right? And the difference will also be clear. So we have here public static void main string args is a regular argument here. Then array underscore num ob equal to new array num, and in the parenthesis I have passed the size for the arr, that is 5, and then ob dot input, we will input the data and then it will be displayed. So here, students, you can see here the data will be entered using this ob dot input. So all the data will be stored in the array of ob. After that, the data will be displayed of the object ob. Now, students, after that, what happens? That array underscore num ob1, one more object has been created with the size given to the arr of this ob1 is 10. Now for this 10 elements are going to be entered. So we write ob1 dot input. So 10 data elements you have to enter. Then ob1 dot display, the same data elements are going to be displayed. Suppose I entered the data 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. So here all the 10 elements are going to be printed when we call the ob1 dot display function. After that, students, we have called here ob1 dot display, same object but different function, because this time another object ob has been passed here as the parameter. So this time what will happen? This time it is going to print the data of ARR of object OB. So suppose I have entered here the values 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So with this display function, it's going to print 10, 11, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Whatever you have entered, that will be printed. But the previous one will print a different data which is actually entered for this object's ARR. But here the data is going to be printed will be of OB's array. I hope you have the clear idea of this. Thanks everyone. Please do execute the program on the system and get the proper output, and you will have a perfect understanding of this concept. Thanks everyone.